I've been on a weight loss journey for, it feels like forever, but a successful weight loss journey for about the past year. And I've lost about 90 pounds in that time. Also about a year ago, I started lifting weights at home. These started with very small dumbbells and I've been working my way up. Now in the beginning, obviously I knew absolutely nothing about strength training, let alone strength training at home. And what I found very, very useful was finding follow along YouTube videos online. Specifically, I love Kaylee Cohen Strength, which if you are not new to this channel, you know that is my girl. I see her like 3 times a week on average through my YouTube screen. She doesn't know I exist. But I have been thinking lately, it would be nice to be able to go at my own pace a little more, count my own sets and reps, see how much I'm lifting. And in order to do that, I need to quit the follow along videos. It just became too difficult to follow along, count my reps, pause when I needed to go do something else, get back to it, get on the floor, stand up. The rest times weren't tailored to what I needed for rest times either. So I was ready to go out on my own, but I had no clue what to do, how to do it. So at the end of June, I downloaded an app called Hevy. I played around with it for about a week or two, trying to decide what routine I wanted to stick to. And I stuck to a routine that I created in the Hevy app for a full month. So if you're interested in learning more about the Hevy app, more about what I did this month to get stronger on my own for the first time without a follow along video, go ahead and watch this video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more of my strength and weight loss journey. So here's the routine that I came up with for the month of July. We did a day of upper body, a day of lower body, a day of abs, rest or cardio, depending on how I feel, then a day of upper body, a day of lower body, and another rest day or cardio, depending on how I felt. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So here's what I was doing for upper body day. And keep in mind, I made this routine. I'm not educated on the best exercises to put together for optimal strength gaining. I'm pretty new to this. While I have been lifting weights at home for about a year, I've been following along to somebody else. I haven't been studying it. I've just been doing what other people have been telling me to do. So for upper body, I did bench press, which I ended up doing on the floor. I recently saw on the Hevy app that there is actually a bench press version where you're actually on the floor. I think it's called floor press, if I'm remembering correctly. And I should have put that in, but whatever. It's called bench press, but I was doing floor press. I don't have a bench. It's something that I want to add to my home gym. I just don't have the space for it right now, so I need to keep thinking about that situation. The rest of my exercises, I did lateral raise. I really wanted to focus on my triceps throughout this entire month, so you'll see that a lot of my exercises are geared more towards that for upper body day. And that is because I am very insecure about my arms. They've always been the biggest part of my body, in my opinion, and they're a little droopy. So I wanted to see if I could get a little bit more muscle there, tighten them up, feel a little better about them. Bent over row and tricep extension. So very heavy towards the tricep of my upper body. For lower body, I decided to go with a goblet squat. I could have done a squat where you put the dumbbells up on your shoulders, and I technically could lift a lot more weight than what I was lifting for the goblet squat, but I get so uncomfortable with the dumbbells on my shoulders. It kind of hurts my shoulders. So I decided to do goblet squats for this month. I could have lifted a lot more though. I also did standing calf raises, a Romanian deadlift, which I'm still unsure if I am doing correctly or if I just could lift so much more than what I am lifting, because I feel like I feel nothing. I'm this close to just giving up on the Romanian deadlift because it doesn't make sense to me. I don't feel anything. Feel free to leave any advice below, by the way, throughout this entire video. Then we did reverse lunge and hip thrust. And for hip thrust, I have this really cool band, the strip of cloth, Velcro thing that I can attach my dumbbells to. And it makes it so much easier than stacking dumbbells up on my stomach area. that was just starting to get quite painful. I think by the end of the month, I may have changed it to a barbell hip thrust. I don't 100% remember, but I may have changed it to that just because that was more so what I was doing. It just wasn't technically a barbell. And then abs day, I meant for this to be attached to the end of a lower body day or an upper body day if I had the time or energy to do it. But for the most part, this ended up becoming its own day in the week. And for that, I did heel taps, dead bug, Russian twist, and weighted sit-ups. Then for rest and cardio, this was the most unstructured part of my routine, and that's because I'm not a fan of cardio. I kind of just go with the flow when it comes to cardio. I do what I want to do, because if I force myself to do a cardio workout that I hate, running for example, I hate running. I do get in spurts of when I want to try it, but for the most part, I hate running. And if I force myself to do it, I will put it off as much as I possibly can, and then eventually will completely fall off of doing a cardio routine. So with cardio, I need to find what I'm feeling for the day. And some days on a cardio day, I feel like dancing. Some days on a cardio day, I just wanna walk on a treadmill. For the month of July, I was really on a treadmill kick. And I love just cranking up the incline on my treadmill as high as it will go. I have an older treadmill, so I don't know if that's super high, but I love the incline up, 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 because I feel like it is so much nicer on my knees. And that may just be from when I was much more overweight. Right now, maybe it would be fine. I'm not sure, but I am really enjoying the incline, and I know it gives you a little extra something something for a walk. So I'm gonna stick with my incline treadmill walks. So on the rest/cardio days, I would either decide to do my treadmill or I would just take a rest day. And rest days would often happen on days where I felt completely exhausted from all the other days. I don't believe that happened in July, honestly. I don't think I got overworked on anything. I think I ended up taking my rest days just on days where I was busy. We ended up going to the fair. Both my kids had their birthdays in July. We were out and about quite a bit in July, so those were the days that I decided to take my rest days. So when I decided to switch over to the Hevy app, I was a little nervous at the transition from doing follow along videos to almost being completely on my own. I hesitate to say completely on my own because the Hevy app did a lot of heavy lifting for me. I guess I did the heavy lifting, but the Hevy app was such a good tool in transitioning me from the follow along to being on my own. And I was nervous about that. But honestly, the transition felt like absolutely nothing. If anything, it was much easier to do it on my own. Now, I do believe me having a year under my belt of doing weight training with the follow along videos helped me a lot because I knew what a lot of these exercises were already called. So when I was making my routine in Hevy, I knew what to search, but Hevy was really good at letting me know what muscles were being worked within each of these exercises. It also has a little animation that shows you how to do your form in the best way. So Hevy was great for that. But also I feel like the follow along videos, it was good to hear the details of the form, especially with Kaylee. Kaylee is so good at describing how to have your form throughout each exercise. So just combining the knowledge, I think, made the transition very easy for me to be on my own. Another thing that I absolutely loved about now not watching a video of my workout was that I could watch whatever I wanted on the TV and it wouldn't distract from watching the workout. So I took my exercise time to really catch up on my YouTube watch later, and I am obsessed with YouTube. So my watch later is always just full of videos. So that was very nice. One day I did decide to listen to music to see if I liked that more, and that was really good for the days where I just wanted to focus on my workout. I didn't want to focus on anything else. That was when the music was really good. Another benefit of doing this by myself while at home was that I could pause whenever I wanted, and I didn't have to like pause a video, find my spot where I had left off. If I have to get up and go help my kids with anything, it's just so much easier to just go do the thing, come back, I remember what set I'm on. I'm keeping track as I'm going along throughout the app. The app is great at helping me keep track throughout my workout. It just made it a lot easier for me to take my time, and I could also take as much rest time as I wanted. Sometimes I would take the full amount of rest, which would be about a minute or 2 minutes between my sets. Sometimes I would take a little bit longer. Sometimes I would cut it a little bit short if I felt like I was ready to go. And I'm not sure if these are the best things to do, if you should have a very specific rest time or not, or if you should just like continue to listen to your body. I don't know what the best version of that is. This is just what I ended up doing. So will I go back to doing follow along videos now that I'm using the Hevy app? Maybe sometimes if there's a workout that Kaylee posts, or I also still follow Chloe Ting, if they post something that really piques my interest, I'll probably do it. I'm still subscribed to both of them. And for cardio, I do go through phases where I love a dance workout. So I will do like a Mad Fit dance workout, or MK Fit is my favorite dance influencer. So I'll definitely still do follow along videos for cardio when I'm not doing the treadmill. But I do believe the majority of my workouts now are gonna be in the Hevy app. So with that, let's talk a little bit more about the Hevy app, things that I really liked about it, what I would change about it, all that jazz. For the entire month of July, I did end up using the free version. Now, you have to be a very special anything for me to pay a subscription for you. And I will admit, about mid-month, I was offered a 50% off on the app to get the pro version. And I did think about it. I thought about it for the full week that I was offered the pro version, but I did end up deciding to stick with the free version. And that's just because I want to make sure that this is something that I'm really going to stick to before I pay for it. And if I'm still heavily using this app when the Black Friday deals come around, I think I'll probably pay for it then. And what I like about it, at least currently, they let you buy a lifetime subscription to it. One payment and I'm done. That is my ideal. I don't like paying monthly for things. So with the pro version, you can make as many routines as you want. In the free version, I think you're limited to about 4 routines, and that's it. So when the month of July was done and I wanted to move on to a different routine, I did end up having to delete these routines so I can make room for new ones. And that was a little bit of a bummer because I did spend quite a bit of time on that. I think with the pro version, you also get some kind of a trainer situation, and I know nothing about that. So I'm not going to talk any further about it, but that is an option. So here's everything that I loved about the Hevy app. Obviously, we talked about making your own routines, and I loved that when I was making my own routines that you can see the animation that shows you the form. You can also see lit up with what muscles are being targeted for it, and it also lists the muscles below that are being targeted for that workout. That way I could really tailor my routine to what I'm focusing on. So for me with upper body, I was really focusing on triceps. So I made sure with a lot of the exercises that I chose that it was working on my tricep area. I also loved that while I was working out, I could keep track of my sets, my reps, and the weight that I was using. Although it did take me a minute to figure out how to log dumbbells, because with 2 dumbbells, let's say 2 20-pound dumbbells, should I put down 20? Or should I put down 40? And I did figure out after a little bit that I was meant to do 40, but for a little bit I was logging as 20. So it was a little off there for a minute. There are also so many different exercises to choose from throughout the app. I work out from home, so I have very minimal equipment. So what I mostly went for was either body weight, dumbbells, or there were banded exercises, but I don't think I used any banded exercises for July. I may use that in the future because that is kind of cool that you can choose the banded exercises. Those are good for when you're out and about at like hotels or whatever. I hear a lot of people will pack their bands and just do their exercise real quick in their hotel room. But if you do go to the gym, you can also put in different exercise machines. And I don't know too much about exercising in the gym because the only time that I ever exercised in a gym, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. So I kind of just stayed on a treadmill or an elliptical and then I went home. Now I think I would do a lot more, especially if I had had the Hevy app at that time. I probably would have explored a few more of the machines, but I don't know if they have a ton of different machines on the app, but I do feel like the app is very much geared towards people that go to the gym rather than people that work out at home. So I imagine that they have most of the machines. Maybe they don't have some of the niche ones. Not sure. I also loved the social aspect of the Hevy app. I tried to do Strava for like a day or two to see if I could compare the two, and Strava was so geared towards a runner to the point where it wasn't worth it. So I got rid of Strava quite quickly and I stuck with the Hevy app. I haven't used too much of the social aspects of Hevy yet, but I do want to get a little bit more into it. So go ahead and follow me over there if you end up using the Hevy app, or if you're curious about what workouts that I'm doing right now. So I post my workouts publicly, which means you can see what I've been doing. You do have the option to do it privately if you just want to keep that to yourself too. I also loved the little detail of being able to post a picture of yourself after your workout. Like, that's just kind of fun. And I did it when I wasn't completely exhausted. If I was super tired or if I was just feeling super ugly, I didn't do it. But I think I did post a couple of pictures that I would deem myself as a little ugly. That's the reality of working out. You don't look like the fitness models on Instagram every single time, or really any time. I don't think I've ever looked like that after a workout, actually. But it was fun to take pictures and post them. You can also go on other people's profiles and save their routines too, so you can give them a try. I've not done that yet, but it is an option. I'm editing my video and I completely forgot to mention the cons of the Hevy app. The list is short, so we'll make this quick. The cons are, I wish that they had more recovery exercises. I really wanted this year to get a little bit more into stretching and stuff like that. And I just don't have a routine that I really like. I don't really enjoy the follow along videos of stretching. So I'd really love if I was able to make my own stretch routine in the app. But there are no stretching exercises, and also warm-ups. If I could create my own warm-ups, that would be really nice. But they have just a category that's just called warm-ups. And if you know what you're doing, just putting in warm-up is fine. But if you're like me and you don't have a clue what you're doing, that it would be nice to just have a little bit more guidance or ability to create a warm-up routine or a stretch routine. I feel like I had another con and I literally cannot think of any besides that one. Is that it? That might be it. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing. And I feel like that would be really easy for them to add to it. If not, they're already looking into it. I did search in Reddit if anybody had come up with some kind of stretch routine. And they said that they had to make custom exercises to create a stretch routine. And for the free version, you're allowed 3 or 4 custom exercises. So it would be difficult to put that together. You definitely could, but it would be hard. And I attempted to put something together and it took absolutely forever for me to put it together. So I would just love just some stretches within the app. All right, back to me. Okay, now let's talk about the results. I'm still in my weight loss journey. I still have fat to lose. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these pictures in a minute here. I was delusionally really wanting to see more muscle definition, especially in my arms. But as you can see, there's really not too big of a difference from the beginning of the month versus the end of the month. And I think a lot of that is because I just have more fat to lose before you can really see those kinds of results. But the results that you can't see, the results of me feeling a lot stronger, they're definitely there. I feel so much stronger now than I did when I was doing the follow along videos. And I think that's because it's a lot easier for me to do progressive overload when I know exactly how many reps I'm doing and how many sets I'm doing, and I'm taking notes on it and just going at my own pace a little more than just like trying to quickly follow along with these YouTube videos. And I will not knock those YouTube videos. They are what really helped me get started. And they're something that I probably will continue to go back to every once in a while. But I think I'm a Hevy App user. I think I'm gonna start doing my workouts on my own from now on. So now it's August and I'm doing a different routine for this month. I'm doing one of Hevy's actual routines. So somebody else made this routine and I'm trying that. and I'm feeling even stronger than I did last month. So if you are interested in following along on my strength and weight loss journey, make sure you subscribe. Like this video if you like sit down videos where I just talk about different apps and things within my weight loss journey. And I will see you next time. Bye.